Hi everyone, I'm here at the request of the Academic Affairs Associate Dean John Atkins. You probably might want to know why. Somewhere along the line I got rated 19th best professor from Rate My Professors, that thing that everybody hates but looks at. I was invited by the students at FIU to give the first lecture. I started the religious studies program here at Miami-Dade College many years ago and have picked up some things along the way, and John has asked some questions, and he thought maybe I could share some suggestions with you all, since we're all colleagues in this together, of some things that I have learned through hit, miss, and marvelous disasters. So here we go. John asked the kind of following questions, and here we go. What do you think are the most important teaching strategies to have a successful class? How do you effectively connect with your students? How do you effectively prepare for your classes? And what other advice do you have for part-time faculty to improve their classes? Yes, I know that's a master's thesis, at least in every one of those questions, but here we go. This is going to sound very old-fashioned, but I think one of the most important things you can be is authentic. Be yourself. I think it's important for us to remember today, students are not like they were when I was a student, which of course was a long, long time ago, but students today are very bright. They still have the same self-esteem issues, the same identity issues, but they're very, very sharp. With the internet and all the things that are on today, they pick up things very, very quickly. Things that teachers could get away with, and I mean that, get away with a long time ago and not so far ago, you can't today. So some things I just want to share with you all. Be yourself, and I mean that. That sounds so corny, but it's true. An example would be reminding students that a good teacher is still a student and that you're looking forward for them teaching you as well. That connotes respect. It's also being honest, because if we're good teachers, we're still students. Second thing is, you know, all of us make mistakes. We do. And I think it's important if we make a mistake with students to admit it. Students will know if we're bulldozing our way through, and that gets around really quickly. But if you make a mistake, I make mistakes, and I say to students, if you point out a mistake I made and I make it, by gosh, I'll change it and fix the grade. Because, you know, you can't be right 100% of the time, all the time. The other thing is, you know, if you don't know something, there are lots of things in world religion, for instance, that I simply don't know. So I say to my students, hey, let's look it up together, because I don't have a clue how to answer that or where that comes from. There's just too many religions and too many things going on. And I would be willing to guess, and all of you out there, you're all teaching courses that have changed. There's new information coming in all the time, and stuff that may have been good 6 months ago or a year ago is suddenly like obsolete very quickly. And so if we can look it up together and admit, hey, let's make this a team project, it's amazing how much all of us can learn as a group. You know, failing is not the apocalypse. And one of the things that I have found very helpful is to get across to students, if you make a mistake, that's not the end of the world. There are ways that we can fix it in terms of identifying what you did wrong and giving you a chance to improve upon what didn't work right. If you're watching this, you probably have a master's or a doctorate. And as you well know, if you're really honest, along the way, you needed help. Now, I have a degree from Columbia and a degree from Boston University, a master's and a doctorate in theology. There are times when I goofed up and people stepped in and helped me out. I've never forgotten that. Students need to be reminded that they too can fix things. So in all of my courses, whether they be in English over at FIU or religion here, I offer a plan B. Now, students have a choice. They can either do some makeup work or correction work, and if they do, they're off and running. If they choose not to, that's fine, but I give them choices. I don't know about any of you today, but I still make mistakes. And I'm assuming that I will continue to make mistakes, and so I've tried to, you know, rely upon the fact that I'll have a chance to make those up. So I'm hoping that we'll impart that same opportunity to our students. With that comes a tremendous amount of respect and relief from students. They know that this is not the end of the world. They have a chance. For instance, in world religion, if you fail a quiz, I get you to write a paper. Now, you don't have to. They're called redemption papers. They're enormously successful. People have a chance then to write over something about which they took the quiz and didn't do well on. And as a result, my retention, by the way, if I have 35 students, we wind up with 33 or 34, because people have a chance to stay into the class and continue to work. They're excited. I'm happy. Everybody's happy. Some other final suggestions before I stop boring everybody. You know, showing up on time. That sounds so simple. But students go through traffic. Most of our students work. They make it through all kinds of obstacles to get here. Some of our students are in public transportation, which is a Victorian horror brought to life now. It's awful. They get here. Showing up late all the time is incredibly unprofessional and disrespectful to the students who've worked very, very hard to get here. So it's really important to show up on time. The other thing is, I bet you everybody here, when they write an email to the chairman, wants an email back very quickly. What about your students? When students try to email you or text you, I allow my students to text me. I know that sounds unbelievable, but I do, and they've never abused the system. You know, when we text somebody, we want to text right away. When we email about somebody, we want a response right away. What about our students? The number one complaint I hear all the time is the professor never answers my emails or texts. Now, I don't get that. If we want something right away, then why wouldn't we have the same respect for our own students? My understanding is that students feel very anxious about things if they get an answer and we help them get through the issue. I'm not going to tell them how to answer the problem, but I'll show them where they need to go to find the answer. And when they do that, the anxiety level drops, they feel as if they've been helped, the respect is mutual, and it makes for a good class. So I realize I bored you enough. I promised to only stay on 5 minutes. Just some simple suggestions that I found have been helpful, and I hope you, my colleagues, they'll be helpful to you too. Thanks.